This reenactment is an educational experience for those coming in to see it. We want to represent to the public, as best as we know how, the life and military, the woodland Indian culture of 1800. We have an election coming up. We have a number of local events. The fair represents a time for everyone to come together and have artisans, have food, have craftsmen bring all their wares so that those who are in the backcountry in the wilds of Ohio have an opportunity to purchase things. It gives the militia a chance to assemble and to, as you can see, as you have seen, gives them an opportunity to practice their skills as military units. We are, again, educational. We want everyone to learn about Ohio culture in the 1800s.
I could weave a yard of cloth in about 15 to 20 minutes. What I'm weaving right now are linen towels, and linen is very good for towels because it soaks up a lot of water. About 20% of its own weight in water before it begins to feel damp, and it leaves no lint on your glassware, as I'm sure you know from your time in the kitchen, sir. I thought you would. Now you know too that linen lasts a long time. You know the Egyptian mummies. Well, not personally, but you know about them. And you know that they were wrapped in linen much like this. And some of that linen, I beg your pardon, some of that linen is more than 3,000 years old and could still be used today.
Yankee Doodle went to town just to ride a pony. Stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy.
Come hither, my good man. Come right on up here. Come right this way. By your own admission, you attend. Don't take off your dark-colored spectacles. They've already seen you. Yes, indeed. Come right up here, my dear man. By your own admission, you attend a physician of the highest rank, and to pay his fees, do you need to rob a bank because they're so incredibly high?
Yeah.
Indeed. And does your quack of a physician go about in fine clothing, strutting about in his finery like a peacock in public?
Yeah.
And look at you. You can't even afford to buy proper long pants. You can't afford to put proper shoes upon your feet. And he obviously has not told you about that which causes you to wear dark-colored spectacles. Comes from cavorting with women of questionable character. No doubt.
when you squish blackberries, it leaves your fingers purple. So that makes for a really nice purple. Walnuts are for brown. Walnut husks make your fingers, they'll dye your fingers for weeks, make for a really nice brown paint. Fish carbon, actually. We use fish carbon for black, and it makes for a really nice pigmented black. Come on in, sit down, guys. And once you have that on, the limestone is really chalky, so the paint is like really chalky. He boils linseed oil cut with turpentine, and he puts that over it. It gives it a nice, shiny, smooth, finished look.
Ladies! Ladies, with yours, I'll maintain my beauty somewhere else.
Now, your parents are old enough to probably have heard somebody at one time say, I'd give my eye teeth to be able to do something. You ever heard that? Well, that comes from us. You see, because the eye teeth are the ones that are worth the most, because they're the hardest to get. So you get lots of money for the eye teeth. So even if you don't get all of them, get those. All right? But the eye teeth and the hair comes to me. I sell the hair to the wig makers and the eye teeth to the dentist, or the teeth to the dentist, and that's my part of it.
I met with Captain Pell and his money he was counting. I first produced me pistol and then produced me rapier, saying stand and deliver for you are the bald deceiver. Whooshing doo-doo-doo-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.
They got him. Yeah. How did I'm pretty sure they aim to go on top of their head, not to the horse's squirrel. Remember last year when we got to vote?
up until 1816, and I don't know when it was first established, but there was a town platted out here that was named New Boston, and it was in competition with Springfield to be the county seat of Clark County. And so during the years they were competing, they had high hopes that the county seat would be out here. When they finally held an election, the town of Springfield won by 1 vote, and the people who were living out here anticipating being the county seat picked up everything and moved it to Springfield, including some of the bodies in the cemetery.
Now during the day though, I'm going to rent myself out as a professional mourner. Because in our time period, the more people that's at your funeral, the more important you are. So they're going to pay people to come and walk around and look sad behind the funeral. And I'm very good at that. So I'm going to walk behind the funeral like I did for Jimmy. And the family's going to pay me. And I'm going to cry. And I'm going to stand in the group and go, oh, I'm going to miss him so. And I don't know who he is. I've never met him before. But I'm going to watch him put Jimmy in the ground. And I'm going to make sure that they're not booby-trapping that in any way to catch you. And at night, you and I will meet for supper, and the other fellas, and I'll say, here's the graves I've been to today, and this is what you need to watch out for. Be sure you put all of this stuff back. They've put the flowers in a pattern on here. So be sure you put those flowers exactly the same way when you put them back, so they don't know he's gone.
Yeah.
Risking your life.
The Battle of Pequea occurred in August of 1780. The year before, in 1779, George Rogers Clark captured the fort at Vincennes, Indiana. He took back with him to the Louisville area armament, powder, and ammunition. He then brought that up here as a punitive battle against the Shawnee for raiding Kentucky settlements. That battle took place on the ground on which we stand. It was the American Army, the Kentucky militia, and they engaged the Shawnee here at the village of Pequea. The village was considered a victory for the Americans. They destroyed the village. They destroyed the crops that the Shawnee would have to live on through the winter, and the Shawnee moved then to the town of which we now know as Pequea. And so it was a one-day battle, successful in terms of the United States, devastating for the Shawnee and the other Native Americans here on the grounds.